the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, shoulder to shoulder, Mr. Dave Baylor.
I am here live and in person, and you've never seen us in the studio together before.
No, not in this studio.
And Nate was saying from the video it looks much bigger than it is. So if you can imagine.
Don't give it away.
Sorry. I mean, it feels so much smaller than the expansive space is what I meant to say.
Yes.
But guess what we just got doing? Let me start that again. Guess what we just finished doing, Nate? Do you remember what we did?
I do, because it was 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 30 seconds of WWDC Keynote.
Yes, WWDC 2023, and there were all kinds of rumors, and we weren't disappointed. And here's a quick spoiler of the thing that I am most excited about. Safari profiles.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
And there were some other things they talked about. So
one or two other things.
Yeah, but that's the main thing. If you take anything away from this, you can now have multiple profiles or identities in Safari, just like every other web browser's done for 25 years. So
yes, and before we get into that, I do want to let you know, when selecting my hat today, Dave, since I knew we'd be in the same room, I went with a curved bill so that you wouldn't be offended by my flat bill hats.
I see. And you know what? I didn't.
Laurelwood Brewing, one of my favorite Portland breweries.
I didn't even consider the lighting when we first set this up, and I'm tempted to reach up there and
I'll just stay like this the whole time.
Okay. We need a bounce light.
I can
no, we're okay. Well, you notice I have a lot more surface area here that absorbs.
Oh, yes, it's blown out the white balance.
Some light. But regardless, people aren't here to see us.
No.
They could be here to hear us, but the main thing they want to do is figure out what it was that Apple announced at the Keynote today.
Yes.
And it was a good show.
Yeah, they packed a lot of stuff in there. Like I said, it was over 2 hours, so we just kept waiting, and they saved the best for last. But let's start with the first.
The very best place to start.
Yes. So they start off with the Mac, and they talked about some new hardware, which was exciting. The long-rumored 15-inch MacBook Air. So this is their lower-end laptop. They had the 13-inch model. Now they have a 15. So now they have laptops at 13 inches, 14 inches, 15 inches, and 16 inches. But I think that it starts at $12.99.
Yeah, that's which is fair for the stuff you get. I mean,
there's not really a whole lot new to it besides the fact that it's got a bigger screen than the old one, but looks like a very great computer. And if you are not a superpower user, even if you are, this is probably a great option if you want a bigger screen, especially in a nice thin light shell.
Yes,
we'll say.
Here's a picture here of the new thing. I can't scroll too far because other items.
Don't want to give away other things.
We don't want to give it away, but yes, the MacBook Air 15-inch. If you loved the 13-inch, you're going to really love the 15-inch. And I think it'd be a good option pretty much for anybody who wants to have a larger screen size but doesn't need all the fancy bells and whistles that a Pro machine would give you. Yes,
and speaking of Pro machines, the Mac Studio, which is the Mac Mini on steroids that they released last year, they have upgraded that with the M2 chips, but they announced a new chip, Dave.
Yes, and it's called the M2 Ultra.
M2 Ultra.
They had the M1 Ultra before. That was a thing.
The Pro, the Max, the Ultra. But now the M2 Ultra, which is lots more better things.
Yeah, they kept showing, this is 6 times faster than Intel chips. This is 12 times. It's like, we've already been through this like 2 years ago.
I know, 5-year-old computers. But yeah, it's a great machine that starts at $1,999, in case you were thinking $19.99.
Yeah, I wish.
But then they completed their transition to Apple Silicon chips and computers, their full lineup. Everybody's been waiting, and very few people will be buying the new Mac Pro. Now, I think it looks the exact same as the
Yeah.
last Mac Pro that they had.
Yeah, this is what it looks like here.
The futuristic cheese grater.
The Mac Pro. It looks like a cheese grater. Oh, I revealed too much.
Oof.
That's all we get. We get this. It's got this. They had a computer design these holes, which is basically holes. I mean,
Holes on holes.
holes on holes. It's like cheese grater to the max.
Yes,
It's like, what if we took a cheese grater and we superimposed it over another cheese grater? Yeah.
What more do you need?
Yeah.
But this thing is an absolute beast. It starts at $7,000. I'll just round up the dollar.
Yeah.
But it's got up to 192 gigabytes of memory.
Wow.
It's the M2 Ultra in all of the models. It
Yeah,
has,
you can't even get an M2 Pro in
no,
it. You gotta have the
gotta
Ultra.
Get serious.
Yeah.
It's got 7 afterburner cards, which help with all the stuff that none of us will need.
Yeah.
8 Thunderbolt ports, which is huge. That's a thing. It will do, 6 or 8 of their Pro displays.
Yeah, it was 6, I believe.
Ridiculous specs on this Mac Pro. But again, starting at $7,000, I don't know anybody that would need this, but it is an impressive thing, and it has the PCI extension, so you can add aftermarket cards, which is what
That's
the
the
pros
big
of
thing.
the pros were waiting for.
Yeah, they wanted a place to put their little proprietary card so they can do video or audio or whatever they're doing, 3D, VR, whatever. So this gives them ability to really use this chassis and expand it and do all kinds of things. So we had the ability before with Intel, but now it's Mac Silicon or Apple Silicon. So
Yes.
exciting.
So that was their Mac hardware, and then it is the Worldwide Developers Conference, so they talked about the new software that will be coming this fall, and they started off with, surprise, surprise, iOS 17
Yes.
will be coming out this fall.
Right down here, I gave you a little taste earlier, but yes. What is your favorite thing about iOS 17?
Oh,
Can you
I can't
pick
even
one?
remember all the things. One of the things that they say a lot of people ask for that I have thought about this is you can leave a FaceTime face mail,
A face mail?
message when you try to FaceTime somebody and they don't answer. Now, I am of the practice that if I'm going to FaceTime with somebody, I don't just FaceTime them. I text them and say, "Hey, are you available to hop on FaceTime for a minute?"
I think that's what most courteous and normal
Yes.
people do versus just, there might be some people whose first name starts with the letter T who'll just randomly FaceTime you in the middle of whatever.
I have gotten some pocket FaceTimes, but yeah, it's like I'm not ready for this FaceTime.
Yeah, I have to make
prepare.
myself look good. I
Yes.
mean, I just can't let anybody see this.
Yes.
This takes time.
This takes time. I've got to put my face on. But before that, they actually talked about new personalized contact posters. So when you call somebody, you can kind of create a full screen experience of what they see with a picture and the background and the
a little bit of that on their little page here.
Probably a Shaw there, so it'll be a full screen immersive, which I don't know if I need that. Again, I don't want people calling me. I don't want to talk on the phone.
Are you going to have to hire a professional photographer to come do a beautiful picture like this of Priya with like the hair blowing and everything like that? So, I mean, I guess you got to up your profile picture game in the future. So
True. And then they will have, this is an interesting feature, live voicemail. So if somebody calls you, you don't know them or you don't know if you want to take the call.
Yeah.
Instead of just going to voicemail and then you have to wait to see it, live voicemail, it'll actually start transcribing the voicemail. So if it is, your doctor's office calling from their 55th new phone number that they call you from, you can see, hey, this is so-and-so from doctor's office, and you can actually accept it and interrupt the voicemail. So I think that's kind of a big change for phone stuff that will be a nice feature to have, because I, again, hate answering the phone, so being able to do that and see that and go, oh, yes, I do need to take this one. So
well, and it saves time too, because I usually just let people leave voicemails anyway, and I can just read it there, and I know what they're talking about. Versus going into the app, waiting until they're done, going into the voicemail, listening to the thing. So it's going to be a time saver, no matter how you slice and dice it.
I like that one. And then we went on to messages. we didn't talk about a ton. It seems like in the past we hear about a lot of like behind the scenes operating system stuff with maybe that's more with the hardware side, but it seemed like it was very consumer forward facing stuff.
Yeah, just
Not a
bullet
whole lot of
points.
stuff for developers. There were some new APIs, but they talked a lot about messages, which everybody with an iPhone, an iPad, or a Mac probably uses the Messages app
And
a lot.
And I suppose the sessions that they're going to do this week
Oh, yeah.
is what they're going to talk about, the meat of that stuff.
This is just the very kickoff. They actually, I think, very shortly are starting the platform State of the Union, where they get a lot more into the developer focus. This is kind of the for the rest of us section. But Messages, they're adding new search filters when you can search like for a name and a topic, multiple things, so that you can search messages a lot better, which I am very excited about that. You can have transcribed audio messages, which again, if you're getting an audio message in Messages, it's a nice feature.
Yeah.
People don't send me audio messages, so I don't need that.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, oh, that I forgot that existed, type of thing.
Yes. Inline location, where you can
That's
have like
cool.
a live location thing that you send to somebody if you're meeting up with them.
Yeah, I mean, you used to be able to. You can share your location through the Find My app or through Maps or whatever, but this is just kind of nice. You're texting with somebody, and it's like, and I think you can do it to a certain extent right now. You can share it, but this is like more integrated.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes. Check-in, a new feature. Like if you're walking to the store late at night, you can send to somebody for a check-in, and then the Apple will track to make sure you're kind of on your schedule and that you don't go off course and all this stuff, which you were saying this would be good for kids. You know,
It
if
is.
you have kids with an iPhone.
Yeah, they're like, say you got a 12-year-old and they're like, I'm going to walk over to Jimmy's house, who lives 3 blocks away, and you can set it up to where when they get there it'll check in versus, man, it's been like an hour and he's not at Jimmy's house yet.
Yes.
What the heck's going on? So there are multiple uses I think that spouses or people with children can utilize.
Yes.
Or your boss, right? You
Or
need
your boss,
you got to check in when you get here. No,
Yes.
hopefully that'll never be a thing.
No. But the other part for Messages was a whole new sticker experience.
We were waiting for this.
Yes. They're changing the apps that you use in Messages. They're kind of putting it behind a button, so I think it'll be easier to use. But then stickers you can use, like your photos where you can pull part of it off. You can do animated stickers, all the sticker apps, which I don't use stickers a lot, but this looks like maybe something I will use more with this, and I don't know why they gave it so much time necessarily.
Well, like I was telling you, there must be an audience of people who really love the stickers and use them all the time, or it's something they're trying to push because nobody uses it. I don't. One of the two.
Yes. Then we got to AirDrop, name drop.
I like to name drop every once in a while.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yes, me and my friend Nate Heath. You may have heard of him.
Might have heard of that Dave Baylor. But the two features with airdropping, it's going to work better, but you can also just kind of bring phones together to start the airdrop.
Let's drop the thing or whatever.
Yeah, so it'll connect that way.
And I have to point out, Android devices have had this for years, but whatever.
And name drop is where you can share your contact information just by bringing the two phones together. Which this is, the next in line of the headlines of business cards are dead. But my thing is, so let's say I meet somebody, they share their contact information to me. 30 minutes later, I have no clue what their name is, and I have 1,000 contacts in my phone. How do I go find them? I still like business cards.
You look at recents. Maybe they're in the recents.
Maybe in the recent, or you usually send them a message, so then it's at the top of your message.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but it will be a nice feature to be able to, instead of grabbing somebody's phone, typing the number in, or you're in a loud place and you're trying to read your number to them, always a mess. So it'll be a nice little feature.
Right.
Improvements to predictive text, improved autocorrect. That'll be nice. We always like improvements on that.
Yeah, and man, just today I'm typing in Apple ID, or I'm typing in what they have a bunch of ID stuff. It autocorrects to I''D, like I'd. I would like. It's like
this is your own feature, people.
ID, and I've dismissed it multiple times, so it's supposed to remember, like when you dismiss. No, every time it's just. Ugh. So hopefully that will get better in the
Yes.
new version.
Yes, indeed. So then they had a new experience, an app, I guess you could call it, called Journal,
Yeah.
which it'll really work to help you do daily journaling. There's a lot of apps out there like this, but you can incorporate your photos. It can send you prompts, say, hey, it looks like you were at the beach today. How did you feel while you were at the beach? Do you want to write about this a little bit? Which both of us were discussing during this. We are horrible with journaling. We've tried to do it several times. So
I get it
having
started and it's just like, that's too much effort. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yes, or I don't remember what I did today,
Yeah,
so
or-
I'll skip.
Or which journaling app was it that I was using today? Could be multiple.
Not nerd problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that looks cool. A new feature on iPhones is standby mode. So if you're charging it, I think
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to be
sideways.
charging it horizontally. It'll change into kind of a little dock display with a bigger clock, similar to what your Apple Watch does.
Yeah, imagine if you rotate your tablet or phone, the content rotates.
Yes. Hey,
I mean,
what a novel idea.
Apple's inventing things left and right.
Yes. One of the big announcements, you can now just use Siri instead of Hey Siri.
Which is going to be terrible because when we're talking about Siri,
Yes.
we don't say "Hey Siri" because look right there, it's going,
It's waking
it's
you-
waking up here. So let's
Which
turn that
I
off.
think I have that turned off on all of my devices now. I just
Yeah.
don't need it in my life.
Yeah.
But they were able to pull it off.
They were able, they pulled engineers from all corners
Yes.
of Appledom to pull that one off.
Yes. And then offline maps where you can download portions of maps, which is
Yeah.
a very nice feature. I can't believe they didn't have that.
I'm thinking the same thing. It wasn't already a thing. Like, what if
Yes.
I'm in the middle of nowhere and need a map?
Yes. And I wasn't paying attention, but the pet recognition.
Yeah. So it was, yes, there's some of that, but it's like if you have Fido and Puss, it'll recognize them and put them in their own albums. And so here's all my Fido.
Okay.
And I
for the
want Fido
photos.
and Puss together. It's like bringing facial recognition to
Okay.
pets.
Okay.
And no, my cat's not named Puss, but that's the best name I could think of.
Yes.
Bob is her name, actually.
So I think that was most of the stuff for iOS 17, which again, these are coming out in the fall, so we've got plenty of time to learn about these. iPadOS 17.
Yeah, so a few years ago they...
Oh, we didn't talk about the back to iOS, the live widgets.
Oh,
on
yeah.
like on your home screen, you've been able to have widgets for the last year or two.
Right.
But now they could be interactive. Like if it's a to-do list, you can just click in there to mark stuff off your to-do list.
Well, and I think that was more evident for the iPad because on the iPhone the things are pretty small.
Oh, yes.
But yes, the live interactability, that's a word, look it up. And like you said, a reminders list. Previously, you'd see the list of reminders. You'd click the widget, it would open up reminders, and you could do your business there. But now you can, again, innovative.
Yeah.
You click on the little dot, and it checks it off. You didn't have to go to the app. It's
Yes.
right there in the widget. So this is really cool.
Yeah, so that was kind of throughout of more of this widget stuff where it's like you don't have to go into apps for that. But back to iPadOS 17, widgets on the lock screen and the home screen getting those improvements, control stuff right from the widget. So yeah, maybe it was more on the iPad side of things.
But very
Mac
cool
later, but-
nonetheless. Like, I can't really give you a good thing. Oh, and then Craig also said the crack engineers allowed you to have multiple timers that you could
Big
interact
news,
with.
multiple timers.
Yeah, they moved heaven and earth to make that happen. So
Yes. And the health app is coming to iPad, which I had to look on my iPad. It was not there before.
Today
so,
I learned it wasn't on iPad
Yeah.
already. It's like
with some more health kit upgrades to that. So that's a good thing. And then PDF. There's a bunch of PDF tools coming to your iPad.
I mean, other than Safari profiles, which I'm legit excited
Yes.
about, PDF. I mean, PDF improvements are always welcome on any platform. But like with the built-in preview on your Mac, you can do so much with them. But now you can do more, like automatically finds fields that you can fill out. So it brings it closer to the professional Adobe tools.
Yes.
And anytime we can not give Adobe a monthly subscription to do something basic like fill out a form is a good thing.
Yes. And the live collaboration and annotation, that stuff. So
Yeah.
similar to their freeform app or Notes where you can do some of that stuff already. But There's a lot of PDFs out there, so being able to work with them easier is a good thing.
I agree.
Some updates to Stage Manager, which I don't use. Do you ever use the
I
Stage
don't.
Manager on iPad?
And I just kind of caught it. They were going so fast on
Yeah.
these things. And I saw on their little, what is it, feature quilt that
Yes.
Andy Anako says, their little list of things, it said flexible layout. So instead of having everything on Stage Manager on your left or whatever, now apparently you can move some things around and adjust it to kind of how you want it to work. It's probably still not good, but
Yeah.
it's better.
Yes. And then new tools in the Freeform app, which that's a pretty new app. So, yeah, bring me some new tools. Then we were on to macOS. And Dave, the new name is...
It's not Napa Valley.
It isn't. They were talking about the wine country, world famous.
I was trying to guess. It is Sonoma. Isn't there a car named a Sonoma or something?
Yeah, probably a Kia Sonoma or
something like that. But anyway, evaluate your presence. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what was getting me. Elevate your presence on video calls, access information in all new ways, boost gaming performance, and discover even more. So, yes, those are all the things that are on our bullet point list here.
Yes.
Plus more.
Plus more. So, they are bringing the Apple TV screensavers to the Mac, which we used a third-party app to do that. But then when you come out of screensaver, it'll stop moving and create the background if you want it to be where you were in the screensaver.
Yeah, so like if it's the Great Wall of China or whatever, and it's like going around the bend or something like that, and you log into your Mac or you wake it up or whatever, it'll just kind of freeze it into your background, and then I guess it picks up where it left off. It's pretty cool. I'll probably end up using that.
Yes. So, and then the widgets stuff. They did a bunch of gaming stuff within macOS. They're still trying to get gamers.
I got to tell you, why? Why did they even try? So just briefly, Metal 3, which is their technology that you can write code right to the actual hardware so things are fast, the improvements. There's a game mode which allows less latency between peripherals like your controller or your Bluetooth headset, so that there's no lag, which is great, but there's got to be games to play, which there really aren't. There's a toolkit that they announced that makes it easier for people to port games to the Mac, which is exciting, but who knows how much support that's going to actually be. And then Hideo Kojima from Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding fame as a developer of video games. He's kind of a cowboy type Japanese developer. He's kind of like doesn't take crap off anybody, does things his own way. He's kind of a maverick. He came on stage and talked about it's the old Death Stranding, but director's cut that's now going to be on Mac. And of course, it's going to take advantage of all the hardware and software so it looks beautiful. But at the same time, it's like, how many people who are into gaming who have a $3,000 Macintosh haven't already bought a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Switch to do their gaming on? So, I mean, there's a few of us that might play a game there. But anyway, I know I'm very bearish on this, but they try every year so hard, and they never make it happen.
No, they don't. And the video conferencing on macOS, you can do some new live reactions. Like if you do 2 thumbs up, fireworks will go behind you.
Yeah, that was supposed to be up in the whatever section. But yeah, that was something cool in the messaging or FaceTime, I guess. There's going to be new effects, which ties into all this graphical update stuff that they were talking about. Yes,
and then we're on to Safari, Dave's favorite part of the thing.
They've
got some improvements. They got privacy stuff. There's more password sharing stuff for the iCloud keychain password sharing, whatever the feature's called. But profiles.
Yeah. So many people don't use this. There are people at work who use Chrome, and they have their home Gmail account and they have their work Gmail account, and they just go up to the little menu and they flip back and forth between it. Here's the problem with doing it that way. You have Google Drive open in this tab, and you've got Gmail open in this tab, and you switch profiles on the Gmail, but you go back to Drive, and it's your work Drive, but it's like, but I want to Drive for my Gmail. Oh, and I have a bunch of bookmarks, but these are private bookmarks, but these are work bookmarks. So it's getting your peanut butter and your chocolate mixed together. Yeah. So profiles allow you to create a brand new profile just for work, just for home, all of your cookies, bookmarks,
Yeah.
web
Everything.
links,
It is. I could not live
extensions.
without it, which is why I don't use Safari.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's me too. That's the main reason. I use Firefox now, but previously we used Chrome and then
Yeah.
Brave and then some other things. So now people who love Safari, which I like it,
Yeah.
we can take advantage of all the things Safari does, which uses less battery, less memory. It's more efficient. It's very security
Yeah.
focused. So we can take advantage of all of those features for both home and for work because we
Yeah.
can have multiple profiles. And man, I hope I can have more than two because
Yeah.
I got like 6 going on here. But anyway, that's an exciting thing. It's a very nerdy thing, but I don't think a lot of people know about profiles.
Yes.
And
yes.
then to finish that out, web apps on Mac.
Yes.
So there used to be third-party programs that you could buy that you go to a web page and you say, I want to make this into an app, and it kind of builds a program window around that website so that you can launch it just like an app, and you can use your mouse and click on things, and has like a print the page. So it turns it into a pseudo app. Well, that functionality is now built into Safari. So if you go to your bank website all the time and you want to create an app out of that just lives in your
Yeah.
dock or on your desktop, and you double click it and it goes to your bank, you can do that now. So it's very convenient. And I can see for a lot of people who have accessibility problems, or maybe there's older people who really don't like get all the stuff, it's like just double click on
Yeah.
your banking app on your desktop and it goes right to
Yeah.
your website or to your bank.
Yeah, or if you use everything's cloud-based these days. So a lot
Yeah.
of the clients I work with, they have, that one website that they go to and they live in all day long.
Yeah.
You can just have it in your dock. It runs separate. It's not,
Yeah.
don't get lost in your tabs and everything.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
You don't
about that
accidentally
feature.
close the tab because you have to close the quote program to get out of the tab. So it's a neat feature. I can see a lot of people using it. Again, it's been there, but until Apple incorporates it into their operating system, people don't know about it.
Yes. And we are getting
Oh.
some live feedback
Oh,
from Todd.
what do we
that,
got here?
Maybe my mic isn't working.
It's too far from his mouth, or it's not on.
Yeah.
We don't want that. Let's go down here.
Testing.
Well, I see it right there on my VU meters.
Yeah.
So, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can
Is
you hear
that
me now?
any better? Sorry for our live on YouTube audience.
Yeah. We
and
don't normally
listening
do
later.
this. We normally have
Yes. And they went so long that we didn't want to take any more time. But it
Yeah.
does look on our side like the audio should be working. So
well,
hopefully you can hear me okay.
and let's be honest, who should be listening to anyway? It's
That's
me.
true.
Well, and we could just lean way in.
Yeah, we could share the mic.
That's not awkward at all.
No, your breath is not hot. Not hot. Well, let us move on. Todd, let us know if it's any better. I did
Yeah.
move it a little closer to my face, but they talked about AirPods and audio improvements. I'm guessing this is just on the AirPods Pro, but they've got some new adaptive audio that will make the things they already have with the noise cancellation and all
Yeah.
of that even better. AirPlay. They talked about AirPlay with. Oh, they did talk about improved device switching. For AirPods, which will be very welcome.
Very welcome. I just have it all turned off because it doesn't seem to work at all.
Yes. They talked about AirPlay and a new AirPlay in hotels feature where you just go into a hotel room, and if they have it set up correctly, it'll be a lot easier to share to that stuff.
And my comment was, why not for schools or
Yeah.
conference rooms or meeting
Hopefully
spaces?
this will be utilized many places. And other phones can join AirPlay or CarPlay sessions. So like you could pass around the DJ duties in the car. So that will be nice as well. Then we spend a little bit of time on tvOS for the Apple TV that you can locate remote with iPhone. Now I have questions about this. Was this already built into the remote I have? Do I have to? And they just turned it off.
Yeah, can I pull the AirTag that I've glued to
on
my
the
thing?
back.
Yeah, that was funny. They didn't speak about that at all. But then FaceTime on Apple TV, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
You can
Yes.
use continuity camera and put your phone up there and integrate it with your Apple TV and have it on your big screen. There were ways to do this before, but they were not very simple.
No, this will be nice if you got a big group or just want to have it on the TV. And that other apps will be able to use that, like Zoom. So it'd be nice if you're in a meeting that you could just throw it up on a TV and use your good camera on your phone or iPad and use your big TV. Isla has often asked, can we just FaceTime on the TV? And I'm like, no.
Yes, but I don't want to take 25 minutes to get it set up.
Yes, exactly. Then we moved on to the Apple Watch. They've got some new features with some widgets on the Apple Watch as well, where it'll be easy to interact with stuff. If you have like a watch face that's just a big picture, you can use the digital crown, then it'll kind of show your notifications because you can't really have complications on those ones.
Yeah.
They had some new watch faces.
Yeah, this one here is the big one. They had two. It's called Palette. And what was the other one? It was Snoopy. Here we go. If you love Snoopy and Woodstock, there's a new face for you.
Yes, and then they spent a lot of time talking about a new cycling app.
Yeah, for those of us who don't cycle, it was not that exciting, but
yes, you can connect to Bluetooth bike sensors. It'll do all this power zone calculation. And it can use your phone, like if you have your phone mounted on your bike, you can
that was cool.
Tie together. It looks really cool.
It's like a dashboard for all of your information, and it's being handled through your watch, but it's being projected to the phone.
Yes, yeah. So the one time that I get on a bike per year in Sun River, maybe I'll try this out.
Yeah,
on my family trip.
You're gonna wreck and break your phone because you're gonna be looking at the thing.
Yes. Some hiking improvements on the Apple Watch, where it will. One of the cool features, it'll have waypoints where it'll tell you where you lost cellular connectivity.
Which is brilliant, because it's like, I need to make a call, but I don't know where self-service is. And it's like, oh, it's on.
I can get back to there.
It's right there.
And for the SOS, where you can make your SOS, it's got an elevation view on your watch, which,
that's like sci-fi type stuff right there.
Yes. The other sports, they had the high frequency accelerometer for like tennis or golf.
Yeah.
It'll be able to calculate better on your swings for that.
Yeah, which was cool. It was using the analytics, but I think most people use their opposite hand to wear their watch, because I was thinking like tennis racket.
I use my right hand,
but your watch is over here, so maybe you have to put it on the hand that you're swinging with just temporarily so it can pick it up. I don't know. And golf, I suppose you could use either for golf, but anyway, those are things that keep me up at night.
Yes. And then they had spent some time talking about they have some new mental health features.
I'm glad for you that these things are available.
And it was some meditation or some tracking of how long your kids are spending outside each day, and some of those features, which they're myopia and vision health, ambient light sensors, screen distance if you're sitting too close to the screen, which you said, Dave, wasn't that an old wives' tale?
I thought it was a wives'
you're
tale.
Too close to the TV.
It's gonna ruin your eyes. Yeah, but maybe it's
Apple
a thing.
knows better than us.
Yeah, they have actual doctors and stuff.
Yes. So that was all the software stuff that we can remember and get through in a reasonable amount of time. Obviously, it'll come out this fall, so we have plenty more time as people learn new things throughout the rest of WWDC and the betas. So the developer betas are coming out. The public ones will be out next month. And then September, October, we'll get all the new operating systems. But we were wondering, because we were already like an hour and 40 minutes into this thing, and Tim Cook came back on, and it was time. He used it.
He used the phrase,
one more thing. And we finally have seen Apple's...
They have that little thing you put in your Nike shoes that'll track your steps. No.
Remember those things?
Yeah, that was a thing at one time.
One more thing from a long time ago.
No, what is this thing called? I'll let you...
it is Apple's new Vision Pro.
Look at this. It's a word.
It is a word, but this is the new AR VR goggle headset
with a creepy augmented eyeball thing that shows through to the people watching you. And man, how does it work? Oh, that's it. There's more. I have to go to the learn more, but let's talk about it.
So they spend about a half an hour talking through this thing. It looks amazing. So it is like some ski goggles, but it has a ton of cameras on the outside, a ton of cameras on the inside, screens on the inside, screens on the outside. They put a ton of thought into how every little piece and everything works. But it looks really amazing. You can connect to your Mac. You can watch movies. You can go through your photos. You use your hands for gestures.
And I have one right here.
The Meta Quest.
I have the prototype right here.
Yes, it doesn't look too dissimilar. Besides the fact that if you are talking to somebody or someone is around you, it'll sense that, and it has a screen on the outside that will use the cameras on the inside to project your. Do a visualization of your eyes on the screen.
Well, I think it's a little more technical than that. But what I understood is that you do a map of your face. It does a 3-dimensional map.
Oh, for the FaceTime. It
Right,
does live cameras.
No,
for the
no, I think it's that same technology. It said it had a curved lenticular lens that gives the illusion of depth from people who are looking at you from different things.
Wow.
But I think it's from that scan.
Oh, so maybe it is the scan?
Yeah, anyway, it doesn't.
A combination. It's craziness.
We'll find out.
Yes.
But it's what's different about it is that unlike any other headset, it shows the people outside your space. And here's a good example. It shows people what you look like behind the glass, which is pretty.
Yeah, and it does that when you're interacting with them, but if you're in like an immersive experience, it'll kind of do like a little animation thing there, so that if you're laying on the couch and it's got the little sparkly things, they'll know that you're doing your meditation app. Yeah. So they showed off a ton of stuff on this.
Yeah, go watch the video on their website if you can. It's got lots of good info.
Yeah, you can do computing, you can everything. If you take panoramic pictures with your camera, it will you can be inside the picture.
And like the guy that's going to be in the show note, you can just walk right into Starbucks, plop your computer down on a table and stand there and just do Minority Report stuff right there in the coffee shop. And I don't know if it's strange to you. He was the only person in the coffee shop.
Well, yes, there's that too.
Maybe everybody ran away when they saw the cyborg walking in the coffee shop with this thing on his head. And he walked in with it on too and ordered his coffee with it on. So that is the picture that Apple wants to paint with this, is that you can wear this in social situations because the audience can see your eyes. They can see whether you're engrossed in other applications or if you can visually see them, and you can see the world around you and dial reality
it's got a
back.
Digital crown to kind of fade in, and
so they just want you to wear this thing around all the time.
And it does.
What if you're driving? Can you?
Ooh, I like this.
Oh, boy.
Maybe not while driving. That will be on the box, but
wow.
It does require an external battery pack. Now it looks proprietary from the brief images they showed you.
And there's a
focus on that.
There's a big thing you got to lock it in there. So if it's attached on the other end, you can't hook another battery pack to it.
Yeah, so I'm sure at some point somebody will figure out third party on that.
Yeah.
But it does have the digital crown. It's got another button. It's all adjustable. They have features where they've worked with, who was the glasses company? So if
Zeiss.
you wear glasses, you can get special Zeiss lenses that go inside. I mean, it is really... The detail on this thing is crazy.
Well, I want to know what happened to Carl. They used to be Carl's Zeiss lenses.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened to that guy?
They got rid of Carl.
Poor Carl. But anyway, so they used this model to show off NBA gaming with her PlayStation controller.
Yes.
And we're just like, I don't think that's the target person who's going to be playing games on their
NBA
VR.
game on their thing.
Yeah, but that was funny. It could have been anybody, but it's usually younger kids that are mainly boys, I suppose.
Yes, but so let me look through our list here because I know I'm jumping all over because it is kind of crazy. You can use Bluetooth devices. They said that if you're wearing it and you just look at your Mac screen will become a virtual screen in the glasses.
Which is way better than the Quest's experience where you got to turn on the computer and you got to run an app and you got to connect to the thing and then you got to adjust it and it works, but it's not looking at a screen and working.
So and on the inside, it is two separate screens. So one of the things they talked about is 3D, where it's Apple's first 3D camera. You can use the goggles to shoot 3D videos.
Kind of like the old DS, right? So the 3DS, you could, it's got two cameras. you can't see them because they're far away, but two little cameras, and you can take pictures, but you can only really view them on the device because it's got a 3D screen.
Yeah.
So like this, it's you take it with the
Yeah.
headset, but you can only really view it on the headset too. But maybe what was your theory about the new?
I'm guessing we will be seeing new iPhones in the fall that maybe they will incorporate as a new feature some way to capture this 3D, because if I'm at my daughter's birthday party and want to capture 3D video, I'm not going to put my goggles on.
I think you would, though.
Well, I would. Most people wouldn't. Yes.
When you get one of these things, and you will be getting one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever recognize you without them. You'll walk into some place with them off, and I'll be like, that guy looks familiar, and you'll put your headset on. I'll be like, Nate, I didn't recognize you without your headset on.
Yeah, so you can also watch 3D movies, the things that they said were going to be the future, but it wasn't a great experience with our TVs.
Mm-hmm.
They had Bob Iger, the CEO of Walt Disney, come in and talk about how they're going to be, Disney Plus will be on it day one. They're going to be working for a lot of custom stuff. They did show off some different, educational apps where you had the beating heart and you can pull it apart and interact with 3D objects in the space.
Well, and I'm famously not a big sports ball fan, but they were showing some stuff where this is what I deduced from it. You could potentially have the basketball court on your floor or on a coffee table with the guys running around doing their thing while you're watching the broadcast on your TV.
And have all the stats and everything. Yeah, and you can resize the game, or you could shrink it. And
or have the player, when the player has got the ball, maybe he shows up on the side and you see his stats and all that stuff. So that would intrigue me. It might get me to watch sports, honestly.
Yeah, so they did talk about some of the details. It's got an M2 chip with a new R1 chip to make it all work, but it has 23 million pixels. Each screen is the size of a postage stamp. Yeah. But what did they say? There's for every iPhone pixel,
there's 64
pixels within that. So it's this postage stamp sized screen that is insanely high resolution.
It's higher resolution than a 4K monitor.
Yes.
In that tiny space.
So from everything they said, the visuals on this thing will be amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because this is cool, but that resolution that they're describing is like 300 times better than this.
Yeah,
this is okay.
They were showing you can be watching a movie, you could be looking at your living room or whatever's behind it, or you could have almost like an Apple TV screensaver back there, and you were saying, well, on the Quest, it is not something to look at, but this, from what they were showing us, and again, they ran into a lot of problems, and they mentioned it a couple times. It's like, this 3D experience is going to be amazing. It is very hard to show you that on a 2D presentation here.
Well, and they kept talking about, or they kept showing, this is what it's going to look like for the person or whatever. And I'm like, there's no way. That's like film quality backgrounds. But when they started talking about the displays,
specs,
I was like, well, maybe this could look very good.
Yeah.
It's never going to be 100% lifelike. Well, I can't say never.
Never. But
it's going to be a few years, but this is the closest anyone's ever done in a consumer space. There are industrial professional stuff that is probably better, but this is for the masses. This is a great first attempt by Apple.
Yes. So it's all based on Vision OS with Unity support, and then they talked a little bit about privacy, Optic ID. Third parties can't see where you're looking or what you're doing. And
this was great because I never even really thought about it. But let's say there's a Facebook app on it, right?
Oh, yes.
And you're scrolling through Facebook we didn't talk about the gestures. You just do this.
So you can have your hand down on your lap.
Doing this type of thing or whatever to scroll through. But your eyes are also looking around the page. And there's been a lot of research done on this. But so if I'm scrolling through and there's an ad on the side and I'm kind of looking at it while I'm scrolling, a third party could take that data and go, oh, he engaged with that ad, but he didn't engage with this ad, and he looked at this thing, but he didn't look at this thing. And they take all this data and they try to sell you stuff. They take info from you to sell you crap. And so Apple's saying that's not possible. There's a layer of where you look and where you execute like clicks and stuff like that. So thank you, Apple, for thinking of stuff like this so
Yes.
that we don't have to.
Yes, indeed. And so then it was just down to one thing, and there had been lots of rumors of the price. Now, all the rumors were saying this is going to be a $3,000 headset, to which I go, Apple, they're genius marketers. They say they put out that it's going to be $3,000, but it'll be $2,000 or $2,500.
Yeah, just a little under.
Well, then I have to buy one.
Yeah, it's so cheap. I
It's
thought
so
it was going to be
cheap.
$3,000.
Yes.
It's called price anchoring.
Yeah, but it was actually the reverse. It starts at $34.99, so
Yeah.
$3,500.
Yeah.
And it's not coming out till next year. I was like, just let me order it today. Let's go. I'm excited about it. But so we have some time on this, which is kind of a bummer. But
It's a bummer because there's people who are going to think, maybe I shouldn't buy that
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Maybe I should buy like a car or something.
yes, maybe I should feed my kids.
Yeah,
or
maybe I
something
should
like
send
that.
my kids to
But
school.
it does give us time to save up for it if that's
Yeah.
something that you do as a responsible financial budgeter.
But as we were also talking, Nate, your computer that you bought is a pretty souped up MacBook Pro 16-inch.
Yeah.
It was in the $3,000-ish range. And so this is virtually a computer on your head
Yes.
that you can do a lot of stuff with. So, I mean, it's not crazy to think that you'd be spending $3,000 plus for a computer. So why not for this thing?
Yeah.
Now, I don't see you doing your entire job through VR, but maybe you could.
And they did show off DJ Pro, the
Yeah.
DJ app that I use, that you could do an immersive experience with that, which would be even weirder.
Well, could you do the wick
Yeah.
thing? That'd be cool.
Virtually scratching and doing
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Why not?
But yeah, this is what people have been talking about for a long time from Apple. I have to say, from the presentation, it meets or exceeds expectations of what people thought this
Yeah.
was going to be. And I think it's going to be very popular. Now, the second generation, or if they can bring the price down, that'll get it to the masses. But again, the first iPhone was $600.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, I'm not paying that.
Well, then they also do a discount, like they give a refund.
Like a couple months later, they dropped it by $200,
yeah.
which is really frustrating. But I think I got a store credit.
Yeah,
or
you get a
something
credit
like
or
that.
something. So maybe they're going to launch this thing at $3,500,
Yeah.
and then 6 months later, they're like, we're going to lower the price, and if you purchased it within the past 2 months, we'll give you a
Yes.
credit or something like that. So maybe they need the capital and to gauge interest
Yeah.
before they
Well,
drop
These
prices.
things are not going to be easy to make, so making a ton of them.
Yeah, it had like this glass shell with an aluminum alloy, and there's different sizes and shapes,
Yeah.
and the light barrier like conforms to your face and all this stuff.
It's definitely their most unique or most designed product that they've ever had. I mean, there's nothing in.
An
We've
Apple
got
Watch.
a bunch of rounded rectangles,
Yeah.
but with this, I mean, there is a lot of pieces there. They did, I was kind of looking through the website, they used a couple catchphrases about it's, the most, or the first facial computing experience. I don't know, but yeah, they do have it up on their webpage now, so you can go look through some of the details if you have specific questions, but I think it looks really cool. I will be getting one when they come out. I just wish it was coming a little sooner.
Yeah. But, just patience is a virtue. Start
Yeah.
saving your pennies this fall. You'll probably be able to pre-order one,
Yes.
and then it'll come a few short months later. So
Yes, indeed. Well, you know what? I think we should wrap that up before we go as long as they did. It's hard to get
Yeah.
through all this stuff.
It is.
Which is why they took over 2 hours. But again, WWDC, there'll be plenty of people putting out shortened videos, or you can go to the Apple website or YouTube
watch
and watch the full thing if you want to.
yeah,
But
you can watch the WWDC in 5 minutes or whatever.
Yes, indeed. And we will come at you next week with a back to regularly scheduled programming, but we wanted to get together, watch it this morning,
Yeah.
and then record right after so that you guys would know
Get our fresh,
what happened.
raw thoughts.
Yes, our educated opinion on what they said. But any last thoughts, Dave, on
Man, profiles and
profiles
Safari.
in Safari,
I'm gonna-
new software this fall, and goggles next year? What
Yeah.
more do you need to know?
I think that's all we need to know.
Okay, well then get out there and tech better.